Good morning, Key Stage 1. Welcome back after a really lovely sunny half term. Now hopefully you've all managed to make some really lovely memories with your families at home, whatever it is that you've been doing, and you're feeling nice and rested, ready to do some superb writing this week. Now this week for the English videos, I'm going to model to you and show you how to do each of the activities so you know exactly what to do at home. The activities are outlined in the home learning sheet on the school website, so you can also read what to do there too. This week, by the end of each session, our learning outcome will be to be able to say really confidently the following thing: I can write a sentence. Now I'm sure lots of you are already thinking, Miss Pope, I already know how to write a sentence. I can already say that sentence really confidently, and I'm sure you probably can. But don't forget, it's really, really important that we practice those things that we have learnt in school so that we remember how to do them well and we don't forget what we need to do. Before I show you today's activity, I would like you to remind yourselves, and maybe tell any adults or family members at home, what we must include when writing a sentence to have written it accurately and correctly. What must our success criteria be when writing a sentence? For example, the first thing we need in a sentence is to have capital letters. Capital letters belong at the beginning of a sentence, and we also use them when writing proper names for a person, a place or a thing. Pause the video now and tell somebody at home what else we must have in a sentence for it to be written correctly. That's right, we also must have finger spaces when we are writing sentences so that we can clearly see where one word ends and the next one begins. We need full stops at the end of the sentence, particularly when we're writing statements, those sentences that just tell you something. They're the type of sentences you'll be writing this week. And then every single sentence must include a verb, whether that is a doing verb, an action verb, things like catch, think, smile, or having verbs, have, had and has, or indeed those really sneaky verbs, those being verbs like is and was. Every sentence has at least one verb. And then, once we've written a sentence, we must always just reread it to check it makes sense and includes all of the words we wanted in the sentence, as well as these features here. When a sentence includes all of these things, that is when we can say, I can write a sentence really confidently. And I know we're all guilty of sometimes forgetting to include one of these things. Even as adults, we sometimes forget because we're in a rush. That's why practicing is so important. When we write in school, I also need you to remember we have 4 steps to writing a sentence. Before we can do anything, we need to have, that's it, thought of our sentence. Once we've thought of a sentence, then we can say a sentence. Then that means we are able to write our sentence down so we can check it. Remember, we think it, say it, write it, check it. Can you say that with me? Think it, say it, write it, check it. Let's say it one more time. Think it, say it, write it, check it. I know that's lots to remember already in our first session, but I know that you've all been really fantastic at that since September, and I'm sure you'll pick it up again at home really easily. Now I'm going to show you what it is that you have to do today. For today's session, you're going to be looking at a picture, which is on the home learning page, and you've got to think of a sentence, say a sentence, write it down and then check it. And then there is the option of up-leveling your sentence and improving them even further if you need more of a challenge. The most important thing today though is that you are checking you've included all the features of this success criteria when writing your sentence so that you can say, I can write a sentence really confidently. The pictures you're going to use today are from a book called Belonging, and I love this book. It's beautiful, but it doesn't have any words, so you are almost becoming the author today. This is the image that I am going to use today. Now, looking at the image, I wonder if you could think of your own sentence just whilst I do the same. See what you can notice. I can hear some lovely sentences. The teddy is smiling. The cars are driving on the road. Dad is filling up the pool. What lovely sentences. The sentence I have thought of is the girl is in the garden. I'll say it again. The girl is in the garden. That's my sentence today. So I thought about my sentence and I've said my sentence. Now, what do I need to do? You've got it. Now I need to try and write my sentence. I wonder if you could have a go at writing the sentence with me at home. Remember, you've got to include all of these features in the sentence as you write it. Shall we have a go together? You might want to pause me before you have a go if you want to challenge yourself before you see how it's done. The girl is in the garden. The, with a capital letter, girl is in the garden, and a full stop at the end, and those were my finger spaces. Let's have a go at writing that sentence. The girl is in the garden. So I thought my sentence. I said it. I've written it down. Now what must I do? You've got it. I now need to check my sentence. It looks lovely. Is that what I mean? No, I've got to check it against the success criteria. So let's have a look. I have got a capital letter, to begin my sentence. I can see finger spaces between my words. And I finished my sentence with a full stop. I have a being verb in this sentence, the word is. And when I read it, the girl is in the garden, I have included all of my words and it does make sense. So I have included everything in the sentence, so I can say I can write a sentence. Now that I'm happy I've written a sentence, I could have a go at writing another one, looking at the picture again. And that's your challenge today. To write sentences about the image you've chosen, making sure they're all written accurately. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge and you'd love to be an aim high mountain goat, pushing yourself that little bit further when trying to achieve the learning objective, then you can try the following thing. I've suggested that on the home learning sheet you could up-level the original sentence that you wrote. That means improve it by adding some extra features. These could be adjectives, those describing words, conjunctions, words like and, which we practiced in year 1, because or when, like we practiced in year 2, or even adverbs, those words that tell us how somebody or something did the verb in the sentence. To do this, I've suggested that you could add the words to a die, like adjectives, adverbs, then I've added my conjunctions and because, to roll the features and decide which one you're going to challenge yourself to include in your sentence. When you're up-leveling a sentence, you're rewriting your simple one again, but with the new improvement. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to roll the die, and I have rolled adjectives. Adjectives are describing words. Now, in my sentence, I could describe 2 things. The girl is in the garden. What 2 things could I describe in that sentence? That's right, I could describe the girl I could also describe the garden. You're going to help me now. Can you suggest some words, some adjectives that would describe the girl in that picture? Wonderful. Yes, little, young, happy, playful. Some beautiful adjectives. But we could also describe that garden. Can you describe the garden? Tidy, grassy, neat. Beautiful adjectives. Once you've chosen your adjectives, you could then have a go at rewriting the sentence with your new improvements. I actually did this already earlier. So I wrote my sentence again, including my adjectives. So now my new sentence says, the young playful girl is in the grassy garden. When I check that sentence, it still has a capital letter, it still has finger spaces and a full stop, and the being verb is. It does make sense, so it still includes everything in the success criteria and means that I can write a sentence. It's just an improved sentence from the one I wrote to begin with. Then you could roll the die again to improve your second sentence even further. So this time I've rolled the word and. Now I wonder if you could up-level my sentence using the and conjunction that I've just rolled. To help you, I've already written my sentence again with and ready for you to add the extra clause on the end. Remember, when we're using and as a conjunction, we have to make sure the sentence before the word and, or the clause before, makes sense on its own, and then the rest afterwards also makes sense on its own. So I'm going to leave you with that challenge, and then it's your turn to have a look at the pictures and to try and write your own simple sentences about the pictures. Remember, you can either just write the simple sentences practicing these features, or you can push yourself and be an aim high mountain goat to up level your sentence again and again. Whatever you decide, make sure it's right for you and you're challenging yourself however much you need to. Then I'll see you on Wednesday when we'll be writing some silly sentences using silly sentence cards and still practicing these skills. So until then, take care, stay safe, enjoy the sunshine, stay happy, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, Key Stage 1.